Good Sunday morning, friends and neighbors, and welcome to Real Estate Radio with Kelly Warren and Associates. Friends, this is where the Valley's favorite real estate agent comes to tell you everything you need to know about buying or selling your home. Now, here are your hosts this morning, Kelly Warren and Jim Warren.
Good morning and welcome to Real Estate Radio with Kelly Warren and Associates. I'm Kelly Warren and I'm in the studio this morning with my husband Jim.
Good morning, Kelly.
Hey Jim. So we attended a class this week, a CE training class. Real estate agents are required to take 30 hours of continuing education every 3 years. And so there's a couple different ways that you can do it. You can hop online and pay for the courses and get them all done quick. And, you know, waiting till the last minute, sometimes that's the way we do it. But throughout the years, there are always different lenders and title companies and home inspectors and people that will offer us free CE and lunch and networking with fellow agents and things like that. So we took advantage of one of those this week. And the topic was 203K loans, renovation loans, FHA, VA, and we learned and relearned things that we, already knew, but brought back to the top of our attention. And we thought this would be a great real estate radio topic for us this week. Yes?
That's what I think.
We're sitting in class like, hey, this is good stuff.
Yeah, well, because it's one of those things that, it affects sellers, it affects buyers, and, if someone's selling their house and it's outdated, like there are different types of programs, not just renovation for like, hey, a roof needs rebuilt or something like that, but also little things like remove wallpaper and paint, new carpet, little cosmetic things that a lot of buyers don't realize that they would be available.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I liked that he brought up, sometimes we shy away a little bit from the 203K loans because they can be encumbersome and, there can be a lot to them and there's some hoops that you have to jump through and everything, but they actually made the process seem a little more simple than sometimes I make it out to be in my mind.
Yeah. Well, even the speaker we had this week, he said that their biggest hurdle, 10 years ago was finding good, solid contractors, and the system, the people running the 203K loans and whatnot have actually built a communication portal for specific contractors and things of that nature. So it actually has made it a lot simpler for people these days.
Right. So one of the points that he brought up was, so many times you go and look at a house with people and maybe things don't need to be done. Maybe it's more like cosmetic things, kitchens and baths and carpet and paint and stuff like that, that your buyer might say, hey, next year or in a couple years, we'll get this project done. And how are you going to do that? You're going to probably put it on a credit card or something like that, Yeah. So he made the point that you could do the renovation loan for those kind of repairs, finance it in, do it on your low interest of your mortgage. I mean, of course, then you are paying for it for the life of your mortgage,
right.
But you get it done now because how many times do you say, oh, we're going to do this in a couple of years, and then you never do that thing. So it would be a way for your buyer to buy the house they want, get the rehab done now, and then just pay for it as part of their mortgage, $20 a month or whatever the difference would be, rather than putting it on a credit card and having a higher, quicker payment.
Yeah, and we have our fellow agents out there listening to this. They're like, oh, we sat in that class today too. So sorry for the double information, but the good thing, he had a couple really good points that I liked. So one thing is, he said 75% of homes in the United States are either outdated or in need of some type of repair. And that's the reason why FHA has these type of programs. And a lot of lenders and banks can do this stuff. But they all can, they see the need for it in society, they see the need for it in our housing market, and it's really cool that they have these tools available to them to be able to help, either young buyers or sellers or things like that. Like, it's not just a buyer program. If you're like, hey, I'm gonna sell my house next year, you can actually do a refi into a 203K loan to then,
Yes, you could. I hadn't thought about that.
you could update the home and then put it back on the market. So,
well, and for sellers, the other way to look at it, not just as a refi into a 203K, but if we know that the home needs some rehab, then it's a good way for us as agents to be able to market the home to provide the buyers with 203K information to get that done. So we can help on that end as well. If you're new to Real Estate Radio, if this is your first time tuning in, we are Kelly and Jim Warren with Kelly Warren and Associates Real Estate Solutions. We're local right here in the Valley, and we help buyers and sellers every day. You can find us online at kellysoldit.com. That's kellysoldit.com. You can give us a call or text at 330-717-2689.
Was that kellysoldit.com?
Yes. We also do our radio show with a format of an Ask the Expert kind of thing. So if you have questions about real estate, you can email them to us, askkelly@kellysoldit.com. We have in the last several weeks gotten many questions about financing and loans and down payment and all those things. So rather than our regular format of answering the questions specifically at the end, I'm just going to work some of these right into the show. So as we're talking about the different types of financing and down payments and things like that, we'll be answering some of the questions as we go. But keep in mind, if you do have specific questions regarding this or anything real estate related, ask Kelly at kellysoldit.com. We're happy to get back to you via email or right here on the air.
Yeah, it's fun. It's exciting. I like it when you ask questions. Wow. When the questions come up.
I was at Giant Eagle the other day, and I didn't have my Advantage card, and I wasn't presentable to the world. I run in there. We do have 4 kids, and I do work 90 hours a week. So I run in there at 8 o'clock at night with my hair in a bun and a hoodie on, and not prepared to see real people. And I didn't have my Advantage card, and the girl said, I'll look it up for you. What's your name? So I give her my phone number, 717-2689. And then Kelly Warren. And then she asked me a question about homes right there in Boardman. And so she said she's a listener. And so, hello, Giant Eagle lady. She said, so we talked right then. So if you do have real estate questions, you can find us anywhere, even in the grocery store, and we're happy to answer those for you. Part of what we do.
Yeah. It's like when we first started, when I was getting asked questions at Lowe's.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, I'm not the guy you want to be asking those questions
there
to.
part-time.
That's funny.
Okay, so I wanted to jump into some of this. So part of what we went over was the differences between FHA, VA, and conventional, and then we dived deeper into the FHA renovation loan. So VA, let me start over there. VA is, if you qualify, VA obviously stands for Veterans Administration, and the Veterans Administration put their lending side into play, after the war ended and we had all the baby boomers coming home and they wanted to provide affordable housing.
Started in 1944.
Look at Jim with these stats. So it was designed for home ownership and affordable housing and giving away for our vets to get into homes, and it still exists today. And some other little known facts. Did you know, Jim, that you can use your VA loan for a car purchase?
I did not know
You can, yeah. So veterans, if you have got some questions about this, we're not lenders, but we can put you in touch with some good lenders who can help you out with those things. And we do have a pretty good knowledge of this because we do a lot of VA business.
Do our lenders do car loans? Like we don't usually do?
The banks like the Home Savings and Cortland Banks and 717 and those kind of places would. So not the mortgage brokers, but yeah. Okay. So anyhow, the best reasons, the top reasons why the VA loans are the number one is because you can literally get into the house with $0 down. Mm-hmm. The required down payment from the government on a VA loan, buyer side down payment, is 0%. So you don't have to put anything down. You do have some closing costs. However, the VA says that the seller can contribute up to 6% towards your closing costs. That's all that the closing cost should cost, is no more than 6%. And so you would write an offer on a $100,000 house. You'd say, no money down, and you'd say, I want the seller to give me $4,000 towards my closing costs, and that kind of thing should cover it all. Yep. So you can literally walk in the door with no money down. The interest rates are competitive. I think they're about 4.5%-ish right now. That is a fluctuating scale.
Interest rates are one of those things that don't quote us on, because they can change literally every single day.
And interest rates, yes, they change on a national index, and they also change based on credit score. So your credit can impact, your rate might be a little bit higher or lower because of your credit.
Yeah. So it's funny because we're in front of a lot of lenders all the time, and they're like, oh yeah, we can do someone with a credit score all the way down to like a 550. But then they don't let us know, hey, although we talked about all these great programs and the great interest rates right now, once your credit starts to go lower, your interest rate changes.
Right.
Like I think
it's kind of a premium for them taking the risk of doing that loan.
Yeah. So
VA loans right now make up about 10% of all home loans. They are doing VA loans from about a 580 credit score and up. 620 credit score puts you into a conventional good financing arena. But down to a 580 credit score, you can get into a VA loan.
And every lender is different. Like there's a ton of them out there, so it could go.
So Jim, I have a question.
Sure.
I don't know the answer to this. Here we are on there.
Well, now you're putting the pressure on me. What if I don't know the answer?
Is there mortgage insurance on a VA loan?
No, there is not.
I wanted to say no. I was thinking like this is a good benefit, and then I was like, watch me say that and put my foot in my mouth.
There is not mortgage insurance on a VA loan.
Okay, so that's another reason why this is really one of the best programs. If you qualify for VA, there's no sense in saying, well, hey, I have a 700 credit score and I have some money in the bank, so I'm going to go conventional rather than going VA, because the way that the program is designed, it is the best program out there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, loans and things like that can get really tricky, and I pay a lot of attention to our finances and things of that nature. And although you're doing a 0% down loan, the downside to something like that, in my opinion, is then you don't have any equity immediately.
Right.
So you have to work and earn that equity over time, which you will, as you make your house payment and as inflation and appreciation of the value of the property and stuff like that all help you. But from day one, if you're doing a 0% down program or, an FHA program, you don't have that equity immediately.
Right. Now you can do VA with down payment. Just because the minimum down is 0, you could still say, I want to put down 50 grand and put a chunk down, right? I believe so.
That would be a question for your lender?
I'm pretty sure so. And otherwise, you get the mortgage and then you throw a one-time, one-time payment on it after you have it, and you buy down your mortgage that way.
Yeah.
And other things, there would be some argument. You'd have to talk to a financial planner or the big gurus like Ramsey and things like that, where money's cheap right now. You can borrow these at 4%, where you can make more money otherwise with your investments. So say you had 50 grand that you would have done as a down payment, but you can afford the monthly payment without that down payment. You could go 0 down, pay your monthly payment, pay even more than that, and purchase your equity over time, and in the meantime use your money that would have been a down payment in other forms of investing and make money that way. So once you start getting into those types of things, we're obviously we don't work in the financial industry and things of that nature, or investing or stocks of that nature, but there are, if you have significant amounts of money for a down payment, sometimes you have better avenues to increase the value of that money. Right. So, yeah, it's pretty neat. So if you're just tuning in, again, it's Kelly Warren and Associates, 330-717-2689 or kellysoldit.com. We were talking about VA, and I want to flip over into FHA. Pretty similar housing guidelines, which is why I want to make the switch now, because I want to go over the basic parts of the FHA and then talk about the home criteria for VA and FHA. So with FHA, the appraisal for VA and FHA, we'll go into that in a second, but down payment for FHA, required down payment is as low as 3% down. 3.5.
Yeah,
you can get seller assistance of up to 6% for your closing costs. So that would be, again, just written into the offer, and we can discuss that when you give us a call to purchase a home. This was started as a way for affordable homeownership, because back in the day, when the program was started, do you know a year on that, Jim?
It was right after the Great Depression.
Okay, I was going to say 30s.
1931,
Yeah,
I wanna
okay,
say.
it was the 30s. So it was designed for affordable home ownership and for quality of homes. They wanted to put into place some standards for home ownership. You know, back in those days, you could do anything when you build a home. There weren't building guidelines like there are today. So some of the things with FHA and VA, the basic overall rule is the home has to be safe, sound, and secure.
Correct.
So what does that mean?
Well, that could fluctuate from person to person, but FHA does have some standard guidelines that the appraisers and the inspectors go through to make sure that the property is safe, sound, and secure. And a couple things that are always needed are obviously utilities and clean water and things of that nature.
Yes. So is the home sound? That would include construction of walls, floors, foundation, roof, ceiling. Has the exterior been inspected? What they're looking for there? No broken windows, lighting. What are you looking at?
No,
You're like laughing at me.
Dave, he's keeping us safe on time. So.
So the exterior, you also want to make sure no chipped, peeling paint, those sorts of things. Furnace needs to be in good working order. You'd have to have running hot water, handrails anywhere that there's more than 3 steps. Your basic things, most homes pass this, no problem. If you're missing a handrail or you need a fix on something little, usually those are things that get worked out during the home inspection.
Yeah.
We are going to take a quick break. So if you are enjoying the show, you can check us out at kellysoldit.com. If you have questions on any of this or anything real estate related, again, you can give us an email at askkelly@kellysoldit.com. We're going to talk about our home picks of the weeks and some more information on FHA, VA, and 203K financing when we get back from this break. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in to Real Estate Radio. If you are enjoying the show and you're thinking about selling your home, that's what we do best. Day in and day out, we sell homes for happy customers. Go to kellysoldit.com and contact us. Give us the opportunity to apply for the job of selling your home. So I'm in the studio today with Jim. We've been talking about different financing. He is giving me looks today, folks. I'm not sure where we're going with this.
It just cracks me up. Listening to you, it's funny because
Okay.
I see your brain working and it's going faster than your mouth. And then like you mess up a word and I just smile. So
Okay.
It's funny though. You're fine.
Okay.
Everybody knows what you mean.
Perfect. All right, so anyway, we are going to do our home picks of the weeks before we jump back into conversation. So my home pick of the week this week is brand new listing, 2072 Squirrel Run Court. This is Mineral Ridge. It's just, let me see how old, built in 2001. It was a Parade of Homes home when it was built. Ranch house, open floor plan concept, lots of the upgrades when it's one of those parade homes. The owners are relocating, and I think they've priced it right. We're at $225. I know it's priced right because I helped them do that. And we actually had 5 showings first day on the market, bunch of showings this weekend. So I don't think this one will last long, folks. If you're looking for a 3-bedroom ranch, master on one side, the other additional bedrooms on the other side of the house. This has got a nice sunroom. It's got a full unfinished basement, but it's the 12 course height and it's a big ranch basement. So if you needed additional space for anything in the world, it's a blank canvas for you to do.
That's one of those things that amazes me. Those ranch basements.
Yeah, you walk down there and you're like, whoa.
So massive every time too. But it's because they're squeezing so much square footage in just a ranch. They have to spread it out. So of course, if they're spreading out the house, they have to spread out the foundation in the basement, and it's pretty crazy how big some of those basements are.
You could build a whole nother house down there. It's crazy.
It's nuts.
That basement's plumbed for an additional bathroom if you wanted to put in another bathroom if you were finishing down there. 2-car attached garage, dead end street, move-in ready. Really nice home.
Nice.
What else do you have for us?
My pick of the week is 77 Idlewood Road, and that's in Austintown. Beautiful little home. It's only listed at $62,500, so that's a really good opportunity there. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. It sits on, where's that at? Oh, that's Wycliffe Circle.
Yes, it is.
So that's a nice area back there. I like those homes. Those are good, solid homes.
Yeah. Now this home was completely renovated. They have new flooring and paint throughout. It's 2-bedroom, 1 full bath with a first floor laundry. A lot of the homes in Wickliffe, your first floor laundry is kind of in your kitchen.
Yeah.
This has an actual separate off the side laundry room and a bigger than normal kitchen for that size house. Attached garage, sunroom, big yard. It's really one if you've been looking for a small maintenance free home. New windows, window rolled windows with transferable warranty to the new buyer. 62 grand, you can't ask for much more.
Yeah,
it's a nice house.
Especially with like all that stuff being done.
Right.
New windows can get expensive.
Yes.
You know, and then remodeling a house can get expensive. So that's a good deal.
If you are interested in taking a look at any of these properties or any of our properties, you can check them out online at kellysoldit.com. You can also give us a call or a text at 330-717-2689 to schedule a private showing. And yeah.
You know, I was actually thinking the other day, kellysoldit.com. Houses that are on there, all the houses that are for sale are on there.
Yes,
I was on
we have.
some other big name websites, some of those national websites with lots of.
The entire MLS is on our website. So if you are looking for a home, whether it's been one of the properties that we've discussed, one of the properties that we have listed, or any home listed with anybody, you can view that on our website. It's easy to navigate. We've really set it up to be user friendly. That is kellysoldit.com.
Yeah.
Boy, we are repetitive today. And if you need help, once you've narrowed it down and you're interested in seeing some homes, our buyer's agents would love to help you out with looking at homes too.
Of course.
Okay. So, and if you are buying and you're looking at VA or FHA, we were kind of having conversation about that this morning. So we'll jump back over that direction, try and get some more of these answers from the questions that have come in. A lot of the questions, several questions in the last couple of weeks have been about how much do you need to put down on a home?
Yeah.
So we did cover VA 0 down, FHA 3.5% down. That 3.5% too, folks, if you don't have money to put down for whatever reason, can be gift money. So there are ways around that.
Yeah. You know, call us because we'll get you in touch with a good loan officer who knows how to work these systems the best way possible for most.
There are other little programs, USDA and OFA and things like that, where you can go practically 0 money down as well.
And that grant program starts.
Yes, the Welcome Home Grant is available in March until the money runs out. That's from the state of Ohio. That is free money up to $5,000 down payment. That is for a combined household income of, I believe, under $66,000. I'd have to double check that.
Yeah.
But so it's a good down payment assistance program for, doesn't even have to be first time buyers, but I think you can't currently hold a mortgage when you apply for that.
Yeah.
If I'm correct.
So that's the thing. Call us. We'll get you in contact with a loan officer who knows where your situation is going to put you the best.
And then while we're on the subject of down payment, conventional is your other loan option, and this was one of our questions about the conventional down payment. I know it's kind of got the stigmatism of 20% down because that's what it was years ago, but now there are 5 and 10% down conventional. There is even a 3.5% down conventional, so it does compete very well with the FHA programs. Some of these have PMI insurance, some of them don't. It really just depends on which program and which lender and your credit score and everything else.
Right. So it really does. I mean, there's so much information out there. We were even in that class this week, and the speaker touched base on so much information. And he's like, you guys don't realize we're just chipping at the top of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, you have to have, you know, we'll get you in contact with someone who knows your situation, who will learn your situation and put you in the best spot possible. And that's, you know, anybody in any price bracket, any credit score, anything, like, we know who to talk to. So
okay, so something that I found interesting from the class, something that I really did learn new, and these kind of things really do interest me.
Makes me nervous.
I'm super cheesy and corny in this way, but the word mortgage, do you remember what it means?
No, I didn't listen to that part.
So it's a Latin derivative, and
I heard him talking about it.
I'm into that.
But yeah, that's
I like the root words and, you know, where things come from and what they mean. You did remember the date. I wouldn't have remembered that. So Latin derivative, more meaning dead and gage meaning pledge. So it literally translates mortgage into dead pledge, which he went in to explain that at the end of your pledge to pay back this money, then it's over, then it's dead. So you have a 30-year dead pledge with your mortgage. But so I thought that was kind of interesting that it translated into that rather than like, pay me my money.
Yeah, and it was neat. And like what they said about how people bought houses before mortgages and stuff like that, I thought was really cool. You know, prior to
FHA.
Yeah, prior to having these types of programs and stuff, what people would have to do is they would have to put half down, and then it would only be a short-term loan,
Right.
like 3 to 7 years, and at the end of that term, you then had to pay off the rest of it.
It was through private parties rather than through government-backed funding or the big banks. So,
Right.
you know, times have changed.
Yeah, it's just neat to see the evolution of our business and how they affect. And honestly, if you think about it, it's really done miracles for our country to be obviously positioned the way we are financially and things of that nature, which is really cool. And when he was talking about like how people used to, you know, just own a house and a piece of land and then just throw up random shacks right around it as other homes,
You know,
and it starts to make you think of like if you travel to like other countries and stuff and you see how
not even other countries, Jim. So the first home that we owned was on Bears Den Road, and I believe that is what happened there. Our home was an older home, a 1900s home, and very close next door, like not a normal yard's width away.
there was like 3 steps to the house.
Yes, from our driveway to the next house were steps, and that home was very close, within feet of our garage. It wasn't your normal, you have to build this many feet away. It was right there.
Right.
And behind those 2 houses, behind our garage and the neighboring house, was a third house.
Yeah.
Remember? So that was probably at one time one plot of land owned by one family, and the parents probably said to the kids, hey, build your house here. Hey, you build a house here.
Yeah.
And so then the neighboring homes being close like that. So that is one of the proximity guidelines with FHA, that homes have to be so far away from each other. Your well and septics have to be farther away from your house. Things like that are part of the building codes and the minimum standards now that weren't back in the 1900s.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I said, it's one of those things that just blows my mind in seeing how our society and our living situations have evolved into what they are today, which obviously I love. I love houses, I love land and property.
I kind of liked that compound living. Like,
Oh.
wouldn't you love to like have the kids all build mini
No,
houses near us? No.
Have you seen Jimmy's room?
Okay. Jimmy's yard would have tires in the front yard.
So.
Too funny.
Yeah, that's a lot of the neat stuff that goes on, and I think it's really cool.
So if you are planning to sell a home this spring and you've got questions about what repairs you need to make, or if certain things in your home would pass different kinds of financing for buyers, if it's marketable to buyers, that's something that I'd love to do, is just come out and visit with you, do a free in-home evaluation, let you know what the house is worth, if it can sell as it sits, or if you need to make repairs. And if it can, most homes can sell as they sit if you don't want to make the repairs. Then we can talk about different financing options for the buyers and how to market it best so that it can get sold. And if you're considering buying a home this spring, we'd love to help you out. We can get you pre-approved, let you know, based on your credit and your income and your debt to income ratio, what you qualify for, what kind of loan programs are best for you. We can get you in touch with one of our buyer's agents, set you up on a search, and start showing you properties. So we'd love to help you. Spring is on its way. It is March. I'm excited. I need some vitamin D. So
Sunshine.
Yes.
We need sunshine.
Yes, now is the time. You can find us online at kellysoldit.com. You can give us a call or a text at 330-717-2689. We'd really love to help you with your home buying needs. You can email us at askkelly@kellysoldit.com, and our open houses for today are in the Vindicator, so be sure to check that out. Thanks for listening.